All right, call the meeting to order. It's the regular board meeting of the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, otherwise known as Pittsburgh Water, for November 22nd, 2024. The board did meet in the executive session. Some updates on some projects. No votes were taken. Let's start with a roll call. Danny.
Mr. Shuley,
Here.
Ms. Strasburger, Ms. Lieber,
Here.
Mr. Domock,
Here.
Ms. McCormick Barron,
Here.
Mr. Bay. Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have any speakers for public comment? No speakers. Okay. All right. First, we'll start with the approval of the October 25th, 2024 meeting minutes. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Mike Dolmo.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes of October 25, 2024, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the meeting minutes are approved. Next, we have the confirmation of all CEO approvals that were from the prior month are now confirmed. We'll move to reports and updates. Start with the finance department. Mr. Barca. On with the white shirt look today. You know, it's
Gotta spruce it up a little
yeah,
bit.
you might yell.
It's
In
dreary
these
outside.
dark days, you want to, brighten it up a little bit.
Trying to.
All right, go ahead.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. The financial status update report included in your board packet is through October 31st, 2024. Within the report, you will see that year-to-date receipts totaled $195.2 million, which is about 81.8% of the total budget for the year. Within October specifically, Pittsburgh Water experienced stronger than expected receipts by collecting $24.3 million as compared to the budget amount of $21.6 million. This represents a difference of about $2.7 million. We believe that strong performance is really due to timing of payments. So while we did collect a lot in October, we do think there's going to be a slight correction in November as a result of that. When I say correction, it's more just leveling out those payments over 2 months. Total forecasted year-end receipts are $238.9 million. This represents an increase of about $381,000 or 0.16% as compared to the budget for the year. So we're projecting a slight increase over budget for our revenues. Departmental operating expenditures through October 31st, 2024 totaled $101.1 million, or about 82.4% of the budget. And capital expenditures through that same period totaled $125.7 million, which represents about 68.1% of the budget. $81.3 million in debt service costs have been paid through October 31st, 2024, and that represents about 96.8% of the total budget. And forecasted year-end debt service costs are projected to be $84 million, which is about $1.6 million lower than the approved budget for the year. Last, I'll note that Pittsburgh Water's cash balance as of October 31st was $124.1 million. And with that concludes my report today. Turn it over for any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions or comments for Ed this morning?
I just want to thank Ed and the finance crew for the board education session. We did an education session this week on both the operating and the capital budgets that are coming in front of us in December. And it was just well done, focused. I mean, the numbers that we're dealing with are,
Big.
for most of us, just unbelievably high numbers. But I know I walked away once again feeling like it was very thoughtful. The staff made some tough decisions in terms of available resources, but always focused on the ratepayer and serving the community. So thank you for that.
Yep. I will say it was an organizational-wide effort. So while we did the summary piece, I mean, there's engineering, others were involved in that. So hats off to them as well.
Kudos to everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, I echo BJ's comments. I don't think we tout our accomplishments as well as we think maybe we should, but I think for the ratepayer, the one bullet point that stands out is that 54% of all of our spend is coming from sources outside of Pittsburgh Water.
Correct. Yep.
That's incredible. absolutely incredible and a tremendous boost to the ratepayers and credit it to your group and the finance group and the executive team that continues to, find those dollars and apply them in a way that, is helps the ratepayer dollars, go a lot further. So, again, I remember years ago when doing a Penvest loan was taboo, that it was just too much work. And here we are, we're probably one of the biggest recipients of their funds and that the ratepayers are benefiting from this challenge, overcoming the challenges of working, across state lines here.
Yep.
So thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you so much.
All right, engineering department, Rachel.
Morning, Chair Shuley and members of the board. I do have some slides for today. So this month I'd like to start by highlighting our small diameter water main replacement program. So these contracts involve the strategic replacement of water mains to improve system reliability, as well as improve water pressure, maintain water quality, and minimize disturbance to the community. This program began in 2018 with contracts being awarded annually. Speaking of Penvest, Pittsburgh Water has received Penvest funding in the amount of $16.2 million in grants and $185 million in loans for the 2021 through 2023 program years. This 2022 small diameter main replacement program includes 12.2 miles of main replacement and 1,864 service line replacements. Under this program, so far in 2024, we've replaced 6.5 miles of water mains and 1,162 service lines, and that includes 324 public and 287 private lead service lines. This work has occurred in the neighborhoods of Squirrel Hill, Brighton Heights, Millvale, Elliott, Point Breeze, Marshall Shadeland, Northside, and Spring Garden. Currently, the contractor is working in Squirrel Hill and Brighton Heights and is on schedule to have all the water line work completed by the end of February, with only final restoration to be completed in the spring. Construction for our 2023 small diameter main replacement program will begin in early 2025 and includes the replacement of 9.6 miles of water mains and 1,600 service lines. And that includes an estimated 563 public and 483 private lead service lines. Of the $86 million total cost of this program, $66 million will be paid with Penvest grants and loans. That work will take place in Squirrel Hill, Brighton Heights, Bloomfield, North Point Breeze, and Lower Lawrenceville. And then our 2024 small diameter water main replacement program is currently in preliminary design. Construction is anticipated to begin in early 2026 and includes the replacement of 10 miles of mains and 1,609 service lines. And just for some context, we have approximately 850 miles of small diameter mains in our system. That's 12-inch diameter or less. The small diameter water main replacement program is closely coordinated with our lead service line replacement, aka LSLR program, to meet Pittsburgh Water's goal of replacing all our lead service lines in our service area. An LSLR prioritization model is used to help screen potential neighborhoods based on the concentration of children and women of childbearing age, high blood lead levels, a high concentration of lead lines, and income level. Selection of water mains for replacement within a neighborhood is currently based on 3 primary factors: the estimated number of lead and unknown service lines per mile, the water main break frequency, and areas of known low fire flow. Every water main segment in our system, our service area, is assigned a score by a web app that was developed in-house by Pittsburgh Water staff. Project locations are chosen by staff using this web app tool as a guide. Our GIS department recently added a utility coordination layer to our web map showing anticipated work by other utilities. So we use this information as well as the city's planned paving projects when that data becomes available as part of our project selection process. We have some visuals of some recent work. On the left, there's a mainline installation of an 8-inch diameter water main on Atkins Street in Brighton Heights. On the right, backfill compaction occurring on Bartlett Street in Squirrel Hill. These photos show an 8-inch cooperating. Skipping slides. There we go. There it is. Right, I'll just do a narrative. I was gonna show you an 8-inch diameter valve cluster in Brighton Heights and hydrant installation. And skipping ahead, we have a new copper line installation on Murdoch Street in Squirrel Hill and compaction of temporary asphalt on Benton Avenue in Brighton Heights. Moving on with an update on our interconnection vault project. The interconnection vault project was implemented based on consent order between Pittsburgh Water and the PA Department of Environmental Protection, aka DEP, on May 7, 2021. During routine visits, DEP observed standing water in some of our vaults. These are underground concrete structures which house piping, meters, etc., to provide drinking water interconnections with neighboring water suppliers. As part of the consent order, Pittsburgh Water is required to prevent the accumulation of standing water in 7 of our interconnection vaults. We have committed to DEP that we'll complete the work at these sites by January 30th of 2025. In the overall project, we also included some additional vaults that were not included in the consent order based on Pittsburgh Water staff's observation of standing water. So the work primarily includes the installation of new waterproof hatches, waterproof coatings on the vault interiors, and new sump pumps or gravity drainage. The photo on the left just shows the interior of a vault following the application of waterproof coating, and the photo on the right shows an example of the new access hatches. As far as schedule, a general construction contract was issued to Mealy and Mealy & Sons and an electrical contract to Sargent Electric, and construction began in May of this year. Site prep and installation of manholes, pipes, and sumps continued through the summer, and final waterproofing sealant applied in late October and early November. This Monday, Duquesne Light Company will energize power to the final consent order site, at which point all 7 consent order sites will be substantially completed ahead of our January 30th commitment to DEP. Work is ongoing at the non-consent order sites and will wrap up this calendar year. And that is the end of my slides for today. A brief update on our lead service line replacement program. A total of 11,904 public and 8,627 private side lead service lines have been replaced through November 20th. We currently have 10 active construction contracts involving lead service line replacements, and these are a combination of small diameter water main replacement, neighborhood, and urgent contracts. Moving on to bidding, we're very pleased to report the following projects are currently out for construction bid: Aspenwall Pump Station, Brecken Pump Station, and Clearwell Bypass. Bids are being solicited for 4 separate contracts: general, electrical, plumbing, and HVAC. These projects, collectively known as ABC, are an essential piece of Pittsburgh Water's water reliability plan. Bids are due on February 13th, 2025, and a mandatory in-person pre-bid meeting will be held on December 12th, 2024. Also out for construction bid are the 2025 small diameter sewer rehabilitation IDIQ contract. Bids are due November 26th. And 2024 neighborhood lead service line replacement contract B. Bids are due November 25th. Finally, the following project is currently out for bid for engineering design, construction management, and construction inspection services for 2023 small diameter water main replacement, and bids are due December 10th. Thank you, and I'll turn it over to the board for any questions.
Comments or questions for Rachel? So you mentioned that on the small diameter side, so we have about 850 miles, right, of main. do you know offhand, or can you find out what we have done since 2018? In 2018, I'm thinking about when we came under the PUC and our funding structure changed. I'd like to know how much of the small diameter mains we have worked on since 2018. And then the second part of the question is, so what's our goal? Do we have a certain goal in terms of how many miles? I know it looks like we're in the 10 to 12 year by year basis. Is that our goal?
I can check on that. I'll get those numbers for you since 2018. I believe we may have a goal of 1% per year, but I'll get a good number on that, a better number for our goal.
And then congratulations on getting the ABC project out to bid. Hopefully bidders are paying attention, and we'll have a lot of bidders to choose from here in terms of the lowest responsible bidder, but in terms of the number of people who will be interested in our project.
Right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. All right, next is our Chief Environmental Compliance and Ethics Officer, Frank Sederi.
All right. Good morning, everyone. So today I wanted to provide you with updates associated with two components of our environmental compliance and ethics program. At Pittsburgh Water, we're committed to the development and training of our staff, making sure they're all equipped with the necessary knowledge around environmental compliance, ethics, as well as safety topics, and the understanding of how to report any suspected acts of noncompliance. Our Human Resources Department maintains a comprehensive training policy as well as a list of employee training requirements. This organization-wide training is facilitated and tracked then using our learning management system. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize Marie McIntyre, who's our training development manager, as well as Eve Reffert, who's our training administrator, for their efforts with both of these programs, administering them and tracking all of the training that's done. Last week, I had the opportunity to meet with Marie and Eve, along with Casey Stewart, who's our Director of Safety and Security, to review our training calendar for next year as we're getting closer to 2025. The pre-planning helps us to ensure that we both capture critical training for our staff, as well as space out those activities throughout the year. So a few updates on the major training topics that we plan for all staff in 2025 include our annual policy acknowledgements, training on stormwater, our environmental compliance and ethics training, safety refreshers, cybersecurity training, and diversity, equity, and inclusion training. Additionally, training is provided to staff specifically based on maybe their location or their job function. And so a couple examples of that is we continue to provide weekly tailgate trainings for our water treatment plant staff, as well as our field operations staff. We provide third-party training such as RCRA and DOT hazardous materials handling, and job-specific training such as spill response or HAZWOPER, as well as things like crane operation and confined space entry. Another item that we're also actively working on is to submit certain in-house training courses to DEP for water and wastewater credits. This is in particular for our staff that hold operators licenses. We recently had our first course approved by DEP, which was for first aid and CPR training, which they can now receive continuing education credits for. And DEP is currently reviewing our environmental compliance and ethics training course, along with some efforts we have to develop and submit additional courses to enhance our offerings for DEP accredited courses. The second component of our compliance and ethics program to touch on today is around our core value of ethics and integrity, and specifically some ethics considerations for the upcoming holidays and New Year. We always welcome the ability of all of us, our directors, employees, and agents to develop working relationships with our consultants, our contractors, and our suppliers who support both Pittsburgh Water and our projects. However, we always need to be mindful of our ethical responsibilities to act independently, impartially, and without a conflict of interest. So to that end, our code of ethics does include some standards of conduct as well as prohibited activities, which among those address our limitation on the receipts of gifts and meals to a nominal value and frequency, which is defined in that code. Through ongoing training with staff as well as our contractors, these groups have been made aware of our code of ethics, and I often talk about the limitation on gifts with them. And again, this year, I'll shortly be sharing a reminder of these specific details during the holiday season so we can continue to work well together. As always, I'll end that if there's any questions from the board, staff, or our consultants, I'm available for environmental compliance and ethics questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Any questions or comments, for Frank? All right, let's get my Christmas gift this year. All right, okay. All right, Will, Chief Executive Officer report.
Thank you, Chair Shuley and members of the board, members of the public and staff of Pittsburgh Water. As Frank mentioned, we are approaching the holiday season, and like many of you, I try to take stock of the things that I am grateful for. And I think the many accomplishments of this team, I've really been honored for the last 4.5 years as leader. Those all rise to the list. Getting the ABC project out to bid, as Alex flagged, is a huge milestone for us. Very excited for the groundbreaking. I'm that kind of guy, always looking to the next thing, but kudos to our team for getting that out to bid. But I want to call out how grateful I am for our board of directors, and at risk of seeming obsequious, you all don't have an advocate on your behalf. I want to use this as an opportunity just to say how grateful I am on behalf of our team of your dedication. Many don't know, these board meetings take up time. They're once per month, but a lot goes on behind the scenes where you all are providing your wisdom, your guidance, and your expertise to benefit not just me, but the entire organization. Alex mentioned and BJ mentioned some of the sessions that we have had to educate the board, educating you all on the budget, critical initiatives. They take a significant amount of time, but are greatly appreciated by our staff. You participate in our ethics and compliance training that Frank calls out for us. In addition to visiting sites this year, we've been really excited to have you all at many sites, our media events. You've interacted with our stakeholders, and want to make sure that is clearly appreciated, not just by me, but by the entire organization, to know that you're supporting us in the direction that we're on. I think Alex and I have maybe in the last 7 days spent nearly every workday together at some point. So just to put a finer point on that, your contributions as unpaid volunteers are really remarkable and have allowed us to achieve what we have been able to do. I'm often asked by my team, what will the board think of this particular issue? Or how do you think they're going to react to us presenting this to them? And I can always confidently say, if we're thinking about our customer impact, if we are being considerate and doing the right thing, they will have our back. And that doesn't go in every organization. So to know that we have that in you all, we are extremely grateful. So I want to thank you for your service and dedication. As I said, you're not only helping us get through the issues of the day, but putting us in position to serve not just this generation of customers, but the generations to come here in Pittsburgh. So wanted to end on that note of gratitude for our board. Happy to answer any questions team may have.
Questions or comments for Will?
Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, thank you for,
Really an honor. I mean, I have, in many ways, I feel like I've learned more than I've given, in the last couple of years since I've been on the board. But I have learned how important it is for people who live in our service area to turn their tap on and have clean water. And it's amazing what it takes to get there. And it has been a privilege to be a part of it and to work with this team. And Will's leadership makes that happen. So we are grateful for you too. So thank you.
Thank you.
I agree. Yeah, thanks, Will. Thanks for the comments. We're appreciative as board members of the work that you and your team have done. And, it's a pleasure to work with you all. And, we're making a difference. We're making a difference together. And I also want to put my comments out to the board members. We've got a terrific board. Every member of the board has contributed greatly in their own expertise or in some fashion and their work experience have added to the overall agenda and direction of the board. So I'm very proud to have been the chair for these number of years, and I'm happy to see that these milestone projects are coming to fruition after many, many years, and lots of other things on the horizon. So it's been a great ride. Let's continue.
I just
All
want
right.
to add
To the
footnote.
resolutions. Resolution
Echoing.
number 68. We'll start with Mr. Barca.
I feel honored to have those resolutions today. Usually doesn't happen.
Yeah, right.
Resolution number 68 Approving reimbursement resolution for the 2024 neighborhood lead service line replacement project, part of the PennVest closing process, up to the aggregate maximum principal amount of $15,154,200.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. So is there, do we have a second? All right.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question for Ed. If you could explain to us for the next 4 resolutions, there's 2 similar and then another 2 similar. Can you explain the relationship between those resolutions and exactly what we're doing with each move?
Yeah. So 68 and 69 are both related to the same project, and the same funding application, funding we received from PennVest. They're both to fund the 2024 B neighborhood LSOR program. Resolution number 68 is just authorizing us to essentially be reimbursed for the funds that were interim funding through the PennVest closing process. Yeah, any PennVest loan, we fund the funds initially, and then we turn around and submit a reimbursement to PennVest for that, to be reviewed for those monies.
Okay.
So the resolution 68 authorizes that process. Resolution number 69 actually authorizes the sign up on closing on the award for the 2024 LSOR project.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then resolution number 70 is related to a LSA application. It's a separate grant program to fund a portion of the MLK stormwater project. And then resolution number 71, it's the same LSA program. We're submitting 2 applications. And 71 is the second application for vehicles and machinery.
Thank you.
I was gonna, BJ beat me to the point. I was gonna ask a similar question, but I perhaps for our board, you can talk a little bit about the difference between PennVest and the Commonwealth Financing Authority.
So the Commonwealth Financing Authority is a separate authority at the state level. It helps administer all of their programs, or most of their programs, I should say. It's separate from PennVest. So you can think of programs that are administered by the DCD. At some point, they touch the Commonwealth Financing Authority. This LSA statewide program is similar to that. The small water and sewer grant program, again, administered by the DCD, also falls through the Commonwealth Financing Authority. So you think of it as almost like a vetting authority to really actually give the official award of these funds and grants. And at the state level, the DCD is really doing a lot of that administrative work before and after the awards.
Is PennVest a subset of
They're
Commonwealth?
separate authority.
Separate authority. Okay.
Still under obviously the state
Yeah,
umbrella, but they're on separate.
Okay.
Similar to like Pittsburgh Water.
All right. Thanks, Ed. All right, back to resolution number 68. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we'll move to 69.
Resolution number 69, authorizing the securing of funding by Pittsburgh Water from PennVest in the aggregate maximum principal amount of $15,154,200.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 69, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution 69 is approved. We move to resolution 70.
Resolution number 70, authorizing Pittsburgh Water to submit a statewide local share assessment grant application in the amount of $1 million from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for the Martin Luther King Field Stormwater Project.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? On this particular project, is there any city participation in this project, do you know?
Not as of right now. It's something that we're engaging the city on. Also looking for other, I guess secondary funding sources like the River grants and different things like that that could qualify.
Very good. All those in favor of resolution number 70, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 70 is approved. Resolution number 71.
Resolution number 71, authorizing Pittsburgh Water to submit a statewide local share assessment grant application in the amount of $1 million from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for the purchase of vehicles, machinery, and equipment.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 71, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution 71 is approved. We move to resolution 72.
Resolution number 72, authorizing Pittsburgh Water to submit a grant application to the United States Environmental Protection Agency in the amount not to exceed $10 million for the purpose of funding lead service line replacements and associated activities.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. Just for my scenario thinking stuff. When would it be due, and would they be subject to the 6-month time to sort of decide on applications?
So this is due at the end of December. So obviously we plan on submitting before that deadline. And there's no hard and fast announcement date they've given, but looking at historical, award processes or award, processes, it's around the April timeframe, March-ish. So that's when we expect at least here if we're going to get people or not.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm on defense now.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution number 72, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Resolution number 72 is approved. Resolution number 73. We move to Rachel.
Resolution 73, approving the award of professional services agreement capital for construction management and construction inspection services to AECOM for the 2024 neighborhood lead service line replacement contract fee. Capital budget $1,746,135.60.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, do we have any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 73, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 73 is approved. Resolution number 74.
Approving the award of a professional service agreement for design of the sedimentation basin rehabilitation to Arcadis. Capital budget $6,375,000.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Got a comment. The first two questions I ever asked around here got answered today. First one was, why is there no artwork on the walls? And Jen Prizzuti is giving me a solution to that question. The second question I asked is how much free volume is left in the sedimentation basins? And so here we are. So the comment is, since I asked those questions, I've had the benefit of hanging out with people that do the microplastic stuff and some of the people that actually worked on the riddle of what was killing this juvenile salmon in the tributaries to Puget Sound. And it was wear particles from roadways. So the comment is, I know you're going to have to get this stuff analyzed to get it disposed of, but consider keeping a couple core samples just as a record of what got generated from Route 28, the atmosphere, stuff like that. And, somebody tears that apart and comes up with some interesting stuff, you'll have even more to say about what the impact of the work you propose will accomplish.
Absolutely, we'll do that. We will definitely be analyzing that material to your point. So, thank you for that.
Just want to give a little bit of a background on what this project really entails here for the said basins.
Sure. So that the project is will be split up into 2 phases. To Mike's point, first phase will consist of actually cleaning out the sedimentation. It's been a while since they've been dredged. So the first phase will include a detailed plan on the sedimentation of that sediment, determining volume, plan for sediment removal and stockpiling, phase cleaning, environmental evaluations, analysis of traffic info, geotech, stuff, et cetera. Quite a bit than just that phase, and they're trying to do that. And then phase two is the approach for actually replacing or covering. So there'll be plans related to demolition and construction of multi-cell basins. More geotech will be needed, analysis of water quality, bench scale testing, carbon settlability, dimensions, confirming basin dimensions, of course, analysis to ensure regulations are met, CFD modeling, layout alternatives. So there's quite a bit in, but that's the high level of what cost phases first clean and then to replace.
Are the covers required by the regulatory agencies?
I don't think they're required because it's not finished water, but it would greatly benefit us to help algae breathing.
And so if we cover, how will we clean in the future?
Well, we don't have them now, but there are mechanisms that can be installed for cleaning within the cells.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reason I'm asking is years ago, some of the developers who looked at Waterworks Mall, looked at the square footage of the said basins and said, you know, we could put some more stores here. So people were talking about concrete covers. Well, developers were talking about, I wasn't talking about, but I, you know, said, no, this was not a feasible project for Pittsburgh Water due to the ability to get in there and clean. So I'll be curious to hear more about how, you know, the plans are going to be, what will be our plans if it is covered.
Yeah, and we may be able to save some space and build new basins that are smaller perhaps, but if we do that, we want what's left over because we may want to save that space for future
Right.
treatment
Yep.
technologies to stay on top of regulatory requirements.
Okay.
PFAS and such, and things that.
Maybe that can be a future board education. I'd like to hear more about this
Okay.
particular project.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'd like to keep up with this project
Right.
as well. I know
Okay.
ABC's the big dog, but
Right.
this is a very unique
Yes, it is.
feature of the treatment system here. And in a good sense, and sometimes the algae part, maybe not a good sense. So
Very good. All those in favor of resolution number 74, please indicate by saying aye.
I,
Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 74 is approved. We move to the final resolution. Mr. William McFadden.
Morning. Resolution number 75, approval of the water treatment chemicals, option year 4 to BioSafe Systems, PVS Technologies, Polydyne Incorporated, South Chemical Univar Solutions, and WK Merriman. This is out of the operating budget for $5,517,424.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of resolution number 75, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, resolution number 75 is approved. Thanks, BJ. Do we have any other business to come before the board? All right, so on behalf of the board, I want to wish everybody, I do mean everybody, our staff, our ratepayers, our consultants, our vendors, everyone who is associated with Pittsburgh Water, a happy Thanksgiving. As Will said, we have a lot to be thankful for. And we have a lot of challenges still to address. But so with God's will and the expertise of our many helpers and staff, we'll make it through. So everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. Meeting is adjourned.